Good morning. It is so wonderful to see you. I'm Jamie and this is Eat Homemade. We are going to start the day by making a super easy slice. This is called Weet-Bix slice, but if you're in another country other than New Zealand or Australia, Weet-Bix are simply Weetabix. They're a wheat breakfast cereal. I think the ingredients are simply wheat, sugar, there might be a little bit of salt and some malt extract. And that is all that's in them. And they do crush down to make the base for the most simple chocolate slice that you can imagine. This chocolate slice is all over the internet. It's gone a little bit viral lately. And it's really interesting because this slice, this Weet-Bix slice, I've printed out from the Chelsea recipe and I will link that for you. It has actually been around for years and years and years. My son is not far from turning 20 and I have been making this for him and my daughter, who's a little bit younger, for probably about 15 years, ever since they were little. And one of the reasons we love it so much, yes, it's chocolatey, yes, it's delicious, yes, it's so easy to put together, but one of the reasons that I've made it so many times over the years is because it is cheap. It is perfect for anyone on a budget. And when the children were little, oh my goodness, money was so super tight and everything cost so much money. Interest rates were really high. We had our first house and you know what it's like with young children and trying to make ends meet. So this was always something that I could throw together so easily, so cheaply, and the children would walk in and see it and there would just be so much joy on their faces. So today I'm going to share that with you. If you haven't come across it, I'm going to show you how simple it is to put together. So all you need is, of course, your breakfast cereal, your wheat biscuits. You need some butter, 150 grams of butter. You need some baking powder, plain flour, some cocoa powder, and some sugar. That's it. Once it's out the oven, you can put a nice simple chocolate icing on it as well, and we're going to do that. So I've got 150 grams of butter, and I'm going to start by melting that down in the microwave. Okay, now that the butter's all nicely melted down mostly, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my sugar. So you need 113 grams, it says in the recipe, of sugar, which is very specific. I thought 113 grams. So we're going to pop that in and we're going to give it a mix. If you were using vanilla essence, you would add that in now as well. I love this recipe doesn't have any eggs in it because eggs aren't always something that are available. And it's really good to have an easy recipe that doesn't require eggs. Okay, now let's add our cocoa powder. It says to add 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder. This isn't the usual cocoa powder that I normally buy from the supermarket. It's supermarket brand, which is quite a bit cheaper, but it's a little bit darker. So 1 tablespoon, we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely going to make sure that it's a level tablespoon, not heaped. Goes in there as well. I can move those to the side so you can see a little bit better. Give it a little bit of a mix up. This is a really good recipe for making with young children. If you've got young children, if you've got young grandchildren, it's a super simple one for them as well. Now I'm going to add 4 of these wheat biscuits in here and I'm just going to crush them as I go. Of course, you can crush these in a different bowl if you wanted to make sure they were all superbly crushed up. And if you do end up doing this recipe off the Chelsea website, when I share the link, you'll see that there are more steps to follow than what I do. I just simply throw everything in a bowl, mix it up, and put it in the oven. But they're a bit more precise with their steps. So 150 grams of flour goes in here as well, and then we're just going to give that a mix up. I'm just going to swap out my spoon for one that's smaller. When you first start mixing it, you might think there's too much flour in here and it's not going to blend up, but it eventually does, especially if you've melted your butter down nicely, and everything will just start combining and it will look a little bit like a cookie dough. It's just all nicely mixed up, just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put it into our baking dish. And I just push it down using my spoon, and this will just compact it so that when it cooks, it's going to cook into one nice piece that's not going to be too crumbly. So there we go. It's all nicely compacted down, and I'm going to pop that into the oven for, I think it's about 20 minutes. Let's have a little double check. It says, 10 minutes. Okay, so it was lucky I double checked. 10 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. So once the chocolate slice has been in the oven for about 10-11 minutes, I've left it out to cool for about an hour, and now I've made a simple chocolate icing just with some butter, icing sugar, cocoa powder, and a little bit of vanilla essence and milk. And I'm just going to spread that over the top evenly. You can always use your favorite chocolate icing that you have, but this is one that I've been using for years. And now I'm going to put a little bit of shredded coconut on top. Sometimes I also put some chopped nuts instead. Completely up to you. And then I'm going to set this aside to set in the fridge for about another half hour to an hour. Now that it's really well set, we've got a nice firm icing. I'm going to remove it and we can slice it up and we can try a little bit as well. I love this tin because the bottom comes out. So handy. Okay, I've got my nice sharp knife and I'm going to cut a piece. It slices really well. Just going to push down on the knife so that I get nice clean pieces. This is a bit big for me. I will cut it a little bit smaller to try. The smaller pieces last longer, obviously. Right, let's try it. That is really, really nice and chocolatey. I love it. Now I'm going to chop up the rest and pop it in an airtight container, and I'm just going to keep this in the fridge and everyone can just help themselves. I hope you really enjoyed this recipe and you saw how simple it was to throw together with very little ingredients. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see you again soon.